Hello, welcome to another episode of Greg Tech New Horizons. This is Zypher, and man, I've got to get this farm, really cranking. These few little schnelium crops are not going to do the trick. I need more tungsten. Now, one of the first things I noticed was when these gas turbines are running, their muffler hatches are only HV and EV as a mix between the two. So when they run, they produce a bunch of pollution, which gets transferred into this chunk, which then gets transferred into the chunks behind it. So I think first and foremost, this episode, we're going to upgrade these muffler hatches, and I was waiting on these to shut off as our LSC had just discharged. So they're off now. Do a quick replacement. Now, these two machines will also have to get moved at some point, but I don't believe they're going to contribute very much to the pollution here. And like I said, I really want to take care of this crop situation, so here goes the start of it. I'll see you guys in a few hours. And a slight little update. We have a little bit of a structure around here. I do still need to fill in all the dirt and specialty blocks underneath. However, I have started to transport all of our crops up here, and boy has that been a long process. I sit here in the rain, harvesting tons of mushrooms. I've had to have broken at least thousands of these at this point. And slowly but surely moving everything up. One stupid little plant at a time. You know, it's almost like hitting groundhogs as they pop up. No more? Okay. Alright, all of our seeds and plants and things of that nature have been moved. Now it's time to remove all of the dirt, the farm, and uncover the secrets. And we take that dirt and continue to fill in the new farm. Frickin' bats are annoying. I must say, it's really entertaining seeing the different blocks that get uncovered. Ooh, more. Well, that was way more fun to uncover than to just look at, especially with this being off-centered. Anyways, I'm about 4 out of the 5 steps complete. Okay, that's a lie. Maybe 3 out of 5. And finally, we can take down the control block. And now the floor. So we had a slight hiccup with the farm here. We actually had an extra layer of dirt in there. I noticed after trying to place our blocks down to actually allow some of our plants to grow. So I just took out that layer, added the stone bricks back, and added blocks underneath of our farm to the different things that we'll be needing to grow. I also took a conduit out of the farm hatch and ran it over to our drawer network, which I just got done running this long line of glass cable so that we now have access to our farming supplies. Here soon, I'm sure we'll add some more crops and start filling out these drawers some more, but for now this will do. Alright, so I guess crops are sorted out for the most part. There's a couple more things I need to do, such as putting in some more of these tungsten blocks under our schnelium crops. Okay. But I've also started to tackle a new project. This little tiny brain is no longer enough space for us to continue to do all types of automation. I mean, seriously, look at this. Like, I never even finished creating the full 3x3 multi-block. We need to do something about this, but this is gonna be a large amount of work. I'm already well aware as I started doing the planning. So let's take a major sidestep before we get too far into LUV and get this sorted out. First and foremost is the fact that I'm going to want to move both the LSC and our brain and increase it to the 5x5 structure, which is the same dimensions as this. Therefore, I've started the framework for a new brain, and I'm slowly realizing that A, this is going to be a lot of work, and B, this is going to be an insanely large amount of work, because we're going to want to move our engines over yonder, which requires us to have a P2P channel for the fluids. A P2P channel, I'm talking multiple, but a P2P itself dedicated, and that means we need this moved. But in order to have this moved, we need power established to the one back here so we can start to redo all of the input P2Ps. But in order to get power over here, it'll be easier once the engines are back here. But for now, I think what we're going to have to do is run a cable from our processing area. Now, I'll be the first to admit I've burned up 2 lines of cables already trying to do this, before realizing that energy acceptors accept unlimited amount of EU. So since this dynamo hatch is supplying 64 amps, yes, this is a 2x wire that can only transport 4 amps, but this thing is requesting all 64 because that's what it realizes the network is capable of, I think, is the problem. So what my solution is, I'm going to attach a cable diode. I think that's the output side. And now we'll run, actually I guess I could do 1x because it's only a 2 amp diode. Curious what my platinum stock, oh boy, we're getting low. But I have all types of ore and leaves even. I just need to start the process of quadrupling that, so not to worry here. But yes, we should just be able to now run this cable and it not burn up and start to power this system. I hope. I'm going to do a backup just in case, because I don't want everything to blow up. I can suffer the loss of some cables, but I don't want everything to blow up. Okay, now let me try this. Please don't catch fire. Oh, like magic. I'm telling you, I burnt up 2 lines of cables already trying to do this, and it was instant, obviously. So this is great news here. I'm just finishing crafting some dense energy cells, that way we can have a little bit of a backup on our new IMI system. Which actually reminds me, I wanted to show you, if I craft a good 1024 of these seeds, which doesn't really matter too much to me, I have plenty of all of this available, we can see a new machine start up. I did get done crafting this crystal growth chamber, which just automatically has our fluid seeds deposited into it. They grow incredibly quickly and then get redeposited back into our system. It's actually really kind of cool to watch too. If I sped up this import bus or export bus, it would probably fill this up a lot quicker. Matter of fact, let's do that just because why not? We could start off with 2 and check the impact. But I guess now that I think about it, our real problem is probably the mixer not being fast enough. Nope, it's actually this recipe is incredibly small. I think something like this will work a lot better. So now I think I broke the craft. Maybe we should try again. Okay, you weren't even the problem. You are the problem. You are too slow. You are way too slow. We might have to make you an LCR. Anyways, the point is this thing makes us these fluid crystals incredibly fast, and we'll no longer be bottlenecked by those. Anyways, here's 2 more dense energy cells, which I think until we start to use more channels on this sucker, we'll probably add right here and right here, or not. Something like that. Each one holds 8 million, I think, EU. So that'll be a good little buffer for now. We'll add 2 more later. Now I think I can just go ahead and start relinking P2Ps, except this time it'll be on this system. So how exactly do we want to do this? I think we'll start with purple, and purple I'll dedicate towards really important networks such as fuel and level emitters. Wow, how did I guess the right spot? I have no idea how I just did that. I gotta make sure that this doesn't completely screw over any of our processes, so maybe I should do a backup just in case. Alright, let's try this out. Unlinked. Should relink in a moment. Maybe. Right, but it's not connected to that network yet. I forgot. Let me check our battery buffer before we fully do this. It's decent. I think the main thing we're gonna have to do here is somehow isolate the networks. And I forgot. I don't know if I have nearly enough dense cable to rewire this at the moment. Maybe I should wait, even though I just took Kraken Liquids offline. I think what I might need to do is just completely isolate this network real quick and rerun a dense cable all the way to where I need. So we're gonna give that a shot and hope it doesn't jack everything up. Which actually it might, because I need to be able to record the spots of these P2Ps. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll just connect everything, and then once we switch the line over, we should see everything link. My memory card here is going to show me each of my output spots. Our dense cable should go down to 0 channels, and that'll verify how many of these we have actually successfully moved. I'm going to have to do this pretty quick though, as things will get complicated very easily. Anyways, I hope you can see how much of a pain in the ass this is going to be. Let me make some more dense cables and start to get this whole system together a little bit better before those engines cut on. Okay, so I think I've got a little technique down to this now. I come over, rename one of the P2P connections, so this one for instance is going to be the chemical processing area, and then we follow our line, which I've already covered up. This is the new line, that is the old line. Follow it down, readdress, and connect. Now we should see this one populated on our new ME system. Great. Now all we have to do is this for the rest of the P2Ps. Took me a little while to figure out how exactly I wanted to configure this, and of course to craft all the controllers and whatnot, but I think I finally found a good design. We've got a backbone cable running through the middle, which will allow us to connect all these different P2Ps when we get it fully fleshed out. I have a little subnet kind of system below to input enough channels from around the base. Hopefully that makes sense. Maybe I still don't understand AE very well. But now that this is complete, this leads me to our next project. It's time to get this sucker automated, and we're going to use AE2FC to help us get the job done so we don't have to use those stupid, pitiful flasks. We actually got this design from Runikai on the Discord. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Thank you Runikai for this design. I'm going to tweak it just a little bit to fit our system, and we'll see how well it works. So I've got pretty much everything done here. I just have a couple things to do left. I do have 2 quartz fibers to create a little subnet here for our fluid packet decoders. We're using regular item storage buses, which will send the item fluid packet, if that makes any sense. And then it will get decoded and sent into an extra cell's regular fluid storage bus, which will then put it into the hatch. We have this first one set at the highest priority of 13, this one set to 12, and 11 all the way down to the last one. I do have a P2P connection here that we will link to our item P2P network on the subnet, and that will basically allow the assembly line to check this inventory and verify the whole blocking mode from the main interface. Now what I need to do here is configure the whole interfacing thing. So I know for a fact we need one for the subnet, which should be able to go right here, I think. We need another P2P tunnel, which will be the same output. We'll do one more P2P, this will be the item input, and an interface to come from our main network. We'll use a chest to switch these P2P connections over to item. I guess I really didn't need to do all 3 of those, but grab our blank memory card and set an address for it, which we can then copy to these 2 P2P outputs. And now we just need to run a line from our main ME network. I changed my mind, I don't want it here. We're already going to need a line here for the alloy blast smelter, so we might as well just add it here, like I said. Next we'll establish a new P2P connection. And I guess now we're kind of going to have to relink this because I need to swap sides. Now I want to say we can attach a quartz fiber here, a glass cable on bottom, which will just transmit the power, and run this line to the side. We've trapped ourselves. And we should see this ME controller lit up. It is. Next we'll enable blocking mode. And I think most of the brain power is done. Now we just have a couple more things to take care of. First we'll grab a new drive. And we'll open up our quest book. This is what we're after, some new fluid storage. Though we actually don't want to follow that quest line as it uses the bum cells. I believe we want to use these AE2 fluid crafting cells. Recipe for this doesn't look too bad. I guess we never set a pattern for glass panes. Now I should be able to craft up 4 of these fluid drives. Last thing I need is a cell workbench. So we'll take each of these and partition them. Maybe? How do I get the fluid in there only? There we go, I think that'll work. Or not. I'm confused. Okay, I guess it's partitioned even though it's not showing that. Rename each one of these as long as I got them right. What just happened to that other cell? Did that really just glitch and destroy out of my inventory? Okay, no, it's in here. Interesting. Can't wait to watch that replay. That's what happened. Anyways, let's put these in our drive, which leads me to one more task, I think. Now, I think we'll switch the output hatch and this input hatch so that I can put the fluid interface here, add our pattern to the interface, and I think I should just add a fluid storage bus to here and connect it, and maybe that will automatically store it into our system. I don't know, I'm gonna test that out. I haven't really played with this type of stuff before, so it's time to experiment. Alright, so maybe this fluid storage bus isn't gonna work because it says it's missing a channel. Okay, strange. The dense cable dropped to 2 channels from 3, so was it really missing a channel? I don't know, I feel like that's just AE2 extra cells being buggy, and I got lucky on the ass line. That's pretty asinine. I don't know, at the very least, let me test and see if we can order some end alloy. And since we broke the 2 hatches, I think we are going to need to soft mallet this to restart, because we don't have a cover on it. And we'll wait 40 seconds and see just what the hell happens. Okay, new idea. Can we just pipe it? Yes? That worked? Oh my god, it looks like it worked. The real test, I guess we could just check our drive. 15 bytes of 4096 used. How wonderful. Now on our lubricant tank, I think we can put a pump on to export. Can we still make these small? Oh yeah. Place this on the side, it should have a channel available. And it looks like it's going down. My question is, exactly how much we're about to store. Is it storing in the drive? It is. Wow, that's gonna be a lot of lubricant. We don't need that much. Yeah, that should be plenty for a while. Now I'm also curious, I don't see why this wouldn't work, but if we just drop this in the output hatch, it will drain into the interface, and we should see that filling up in the drive too. Well, it did fill up in the drive. That was quick. Now we can gear towards the processing pattern terminal, which as you can see requires a bunch of motors. But fear not, we have a plan. First, I say we queue up a good maybe 16 LUV processors. I'm really hoping I don't bottleneck myself by having something craft for too long, but we'll find out. Clean room is still at good efficiency. Eventually we won't even have this stupid thing anymore. I don't even use half of the machines in here, to be honest. Goodbye. And we are 1 LUV motor shy. So let's go ahead and make, I don't know, 4 more. And I'm so glad I let Rooter smelt for so long overnight. And here's 2 LUV motors coming right up. Wait, 2? I thought I was making 4. Why did I gather the materials? What is wrong with me? No, not 1256. I don't know why the wireless crafting terminal does that. There's 1 shiny LUV motor. It also didn't make enough cables apparently. 4 LUV motors. Now 2 of these need to be turned to conveyors. We got some patterns to encode, it appears. Now this should be everything for our conveyors. See if I remember the order everything gets put in this time. 15 seconds, we'll have our first of 2 conveyors. Boom. 2 stacks every 1/20th second. That is insane. Now we just need the robot arm to code this item processor tier 4, and we have one of these. Next we're going to make a piston for the robot arm, if I can remember the order. And last but not least is going to be the robot arm, if I can find the empty slot. However, we have a slight hiccup. Do you already know what it is? We must first get a data stick for it. 450 seconds later, we'll be able to make the robot arm. And with a couple different power upgrades, I think I should be able to craft these now. Let's give it a shot. If anything blows up, we know it did not work, obviously. Oh, I've got to re-enable the forming press. Not the forming press, the large processing factory. And we have our first item circuit tier 4. Our data stick is definitely ready by now. We're going to need to build a bigger data access hatch, I'm already completely aware. But for now, we're just going to swap. Should start up automatically. Or some might say, automagically. And we have our first robot arm. Yes, let's check our system and see if we have a crafting panel, which we do. That goes at the top, robot arm at the bottom, I think. Might have to double check this. Screwdriver and a soft mallet. Maybe not. Okay, I really don't understand what's different here, unless it needs to be an actual crafting table, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Let's try the assembler route, I guess. Oh, that's just the circuit, that's not the processor. We still have another step. Oh, I'm so dumb. This isn't gonna work, in the slightest. Silly me forgot upgrading the power on processing arrays simply does, well, nothing. And I think we just wasted a bunch of stuff. There's no telling what that was. Probably our item processors. Whoops. I guess that means we're going to be forced to craft the LUV assembler, which I really didn't want to have to do. Whoa. That brain being completely gone up there looks quite interesting. Anyways, I'm gonna craft up this LUV assembler, and I'll be back when we can craft up the item circuit and the processing pattern terminal. See you in a few. Our first LUV machine does not really fit in well with the color scheme, but it's okay. I know it's white, but yeah, I don't know, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. And we'll give it its first recipe, which now means we can craft this. Our ME processing pattern terminal. Oh yeah, it's definitely going to make the ass line easier. You heard it here first. Now, to test, which I'm sure is not going to work 100% the way that I want it to, but to test this out, we can come to the motor recipe, Click the question mark. It did not populate the fluids. I love that. Well, it appears I might need to update so that I can get one of these buttons. So let me update the pack and I'll be right back. I shall now take you guys through an example. Piston, add to recipe. I have allow fluids to be placed first enabled now, thanks to the updated jar for AE2FC. We can encode this pattern, add this to the AS line interface, and if we request a piston, okay, so there's a couple things we still need to encode. Here's a Zingen, I don't know how you spell that, but this will be our solution to our alloy smelter problem we've had in the last episode or two that I might just not have mentioned. Okay, approximately an hour later, here's a piston that we can craft, and if we come over and check, our automation is not working. Oh, wait a second. I forgot. Probably crafting the parts that we need. Or attempting to, at least. It's not going to get anywhere if we don't turn this on. Yet for some reason, it does not want to make nuggets. Hello? Are you broken? Did I just waste all my time on this multi-block? Lo and behold, the first time I use an ME output bus, I find out you have to toggle voiding. Void excess was enabled. Now I just gotta figure out what else is stopping it. Well, that was mighty quick. But yeah, we should see our assembly line on then. The lathe is finished, which it hasn't. Oh, please tell me this is gonna work while I try to show it on camera. Okay, we did hiccup somewhere. We have the end alloy, we have the lubricant. Where did the recipe hiccup? Motor, plates, rings, rounds, rods, gear, small gears, whatever is after that. Did it not encode the recipe correctly is my next guess. No, it did. We just didn't get the yttrium barium cupric cable. Wonder what the reason behind that is. Matter of fact, I think it's because we canceled a craft previously. Let's let this one run out and we'll try it one more time. Can we order one more? And it worked this time, maybe. No. We're still stuck. What is going on here? Still did not insert the cable. Now, this is a interesting one for sure. There's the cables. So some type of priority did not work here. Gee, Apex, it might help if you establish the filters in here. Let's try cough cough again. This time when we go up above, we should see it actuate once the rounds have finished. I kid you not. I messed it up again. Now I have to go and remove all of these items. And this time maybe set the priorities. And for the 6th or 7th time now, nada. I really don't understand what is even going on anymore. Well, that took me absolutely ages to figure out. However, we are just about on the brink of showing you a working example. So I think I have all of the parts necessary for this craft. All I should need to do is encode the pattern, add it to our assembly line interface, and start the craft and watch all the magic go down. And any minute we'll see the assembly line start up, in theory, if I've fixed everything. Voila! One completed, and we can even verify it in the system. Now I'm guessing you want to know what the problem was. So it turns out when you put the filter in here, you actually need to put the packet itself instead of the fluid that you get from NEI. That's what was holding me back. Anytime I would filter it with that fluid, it would try to send the packets into here because it wasn't the correct filter, so on and so forth. Luckily, a gracious person from the Discord, Lewis Saber, helped me figure that out. Thank you. You have made my life so much easier. Oh, this looks good. I wonder what happened here. How are you guys on fire? I'm so confused. Now, to wrap up this episode, I think I just want to come and spend a little bit of time in the farm, and I just noticed that we ran out of fertilizer because we didn't have the conduit set. So we should start to see some more leaves harvest, and I just got done adding quite a few more tungsten blocks underneath of here. I really don't get what's going on with this whole crops just kind of disappearing thing. There's no pollution in this chunk whatsoever. Wonder if maybe it's just too cold or too hot? I don't know, but we're not going to be planting crops in these spots anymore. It's actually quite aggravating that that keeps happening. And I think to finish off this episode, we're going to put these guys in a new home. They're not just hanging out in our base dying from pollution. Come on, little ones. We've got a new little home for you guys over here. Eventually, why are you guys in the floor? Teleportation problems, got it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's a great time to wrap up today's episode. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, continuing to support this channel. We're getting somewhere. We went from about 50 subscribers all the way to 300 just in the matter of 1 year. I'd like to thank all of you guys for that, and hopefully you'll tune in for the next episode. I know this one was short, but we're going to try to start getting a little bit more content out as we can. So, hope you guys enjoy my new little slime area. I'll end up tweaking this a little bit here and there, maybe see if we can get some grass to grow too. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.